Okay, in video number 1, we looked at expanding single brackets to form an expression. Well, factorising is the direct opposite of this process. We start off with the answer and we factorise back to the question. So, in example number 1 here, this is the answer, 6p plus 8, and we have to factorise that back to the question which contains brackets. So, first thing we do is we find the highest common factor, a HCF, for the two numbers. And the highest common factor of 6 and 8 is 2. We now write the expression out in full, starting with the highest common factor every time. So, 6p becomes 2 times 3 times p. There's your 6p. Plus, from the middle here, 2, your highest common factor again, times what gives you your 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Now, to get this into our bracketed expression, we look at what's common on both sides. If we look here, we've got a 2 here and a 2 here, so we can cross those off, write that down. Is there anything else common on both sides? No, we've got 3p here plus 4. So we shove that in a set of brackets, 3p plus 4. And there's our question. Looking at the second one, we have 12x take away 18y. So again, we find our highest common factor. And our highest common factor of 12 and 18 is 6. So again, we write out the expression in full, starting off with our highest common factor every time. So 6 times 2 times x, there's our 12x. Take away 6, the highest common factor again, times 3. There's our 18 times y. Again, as before, what's common on both sides? Well, we've got a 6 common on both sides, so we write that down, and there's nothing else common on both sides, so we put that into a set of brackets. And our bracketed question was 6 lots of 2x minus 3y. Now, the last one, you'll see we've got x squared here and x here. There's no difference. You count exactly the same as we did before. So, highest common factor of 3 and 2 is 1. We write it out in full, starting with the highest common factor every time. So, 1 times 3 times x times x. There is your 3x squared, plus from the middle, 1 times 2 times x. There's your 2x. Again, what's common on both sides? 1 is common on both sides. We've got x common on both sides. And nothing else is common, so we put the rest in brackets. 3x plus 2. Now, to be mathematically correct, we all understand that we don't need the 1x at the start here. So we write x, 3x plus 2. And that's just a neater way of writing it. Okay. There's 5 questions for you to have a go at. So I'll suggest you pause the video and I'll be back in a few seconds with the answers. Okay, here we go. So the answers to the first one. Well, the first one becomes 2a plus 5. The next one, 3b plus 4. The next one, 5 lots of 2c plus 7. Next one, 4 lots of d squared plus 3e. And finally, we've got 3 lots of f plus 5 g squared.